What is going on YouTube? Hater back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. Specifically, we do have a lot of very interesting and peculiar things to go over in today's episode, specifically with a lot of the major cryptocurrencies. Now, over the past couple of days, we've been tracking the recent correction and drop on most of the major cryptos, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon, but it does seem to be slowing down, and that's a definite good sign. As you can see on most of these cryptos, we're down 10%, 13%, 12%, 14%, 15.6, 17, and it just continues to get even worse and worse. We have some cryptos down over 20%, 25%, which is pretty incredible. But we're starting to see some interesting movements in this slowing down period, which we do need to go over with you. Over the past couple of days, we have noticed that prices have been slowing down, and we've pretty much been talking about the bottom coming in for some of these cryptos. You can see here, the bottom is in on XRP. We also said bottom appears to be in. You can see but Bitcoin and Ethereum are potentially heading lower, and that's what we have to talk about here. As you can see on XRP, we are looking at this on the 4-hour really quickly, but you can see we seem to have found some sort of support, while Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of sliding a bit lower here. They are kind of flatlining out because of the weekend, and now we are starting to see us kind of dip a little bit lower than where we have been. But we are going to be going over all of this later on in today's video. But before I do go over that, I just want to give a huge shout out to SWISSCHEESE.FINANCE for sponsoring today's episode. I know they have quite an interesting name, but this is cryptocurrency, so it's really not surprising. However, they do offer something that is quite interesting compared to many other cryptocurrencies and decentralized exchanges that I've seen here, and it is worth a look at if you ask me. SWISSCHEESE.FINANCE is the world's first ever decentralized stock exchange, which, if this actually comes true, is going to be offering some very cool things if you ask me. You can see they're developing a radically futuristic, user-friendly, multi-chain stock and crypto product on top of the robust DEX. SWISSCHEESE, buying their native utility token, so on and so forth, SWCT, exclusively on their ICO, which is happening right as I speak. But basically, SWISSCHEESE is developing a set of products and services designed to simplify the way you trade stocks, shares, and bonds using a single SWISSCHEESE.FINANCE account. You can trade stocks, cryptos, bonds, shares, and invest in a global global currency as you wish, without having to interact with any underlying technology, which is really cool if you ask me. Now, more information about SWISSCHEESE.FINANCE will be later on in today's video, or if you're impatient, you can find their information down in the description below. But with all that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. So guys, as I've said earlier in today's video here, we have pretty much been calling the bottom on XRP specifically. Now, some people are saying this is, a continuation to the downside here, which is interesting. I personally believe that we've hit a support on XRP and we're probably going to be heading higher. Others disagree and saying that we're hitting a support and we're going to continue to drop. So maybe, we I'm thinking we hit it, consolidate, head up. Some people are saying we hit it, consolidate, and head down. I don't know. Regardless, we did find a support for right now. If things change, I'll obviously update you guys, a little bit later on in today's video or in future videos here. But for the most part, things aren't looking too bad. We have, for the most part, as we've been calling, seemingly are starting to hit some sort of support, which is a good sign if you ask me. XRP specifically is hitting that support here. This is the 4-hour. I'm going to jump to the daily in a second. But since we've been inside this beautiful ascending fractal to the upside here, we've managed to break through it, which was the perfect opportunity to buy in and short, which we did clear as day and took advantage of the drop to the downside here. And since then, we have been consolidating. We figured, okay, don't quote me on this, or actually you can quote me on this, but we did draw very quickly a 4-hour symmetrical triangle, and it was just, we're kind of playing around with the markets, trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So it was by no means something I would trade on here, but we're starting to see some interesting formations. We're trying to find either a support or a resistance, so on and so forth here, and it's been quite difficult, but we're starting to see interesting formations as things continue onwards here. It almost seems like on the hourly charts, we're forming some sort of bull flag here, which is definitely a good sign. You can clearly see we have the actual flagpole itself followed by the bear flag here, which typically, followed by the flag itself, which typically has a bullish bias to break out to the upside here. Now, keep in mind, I am looking at this on the hourly chart, which is extremely aggressive and extremely risky if you do decide to play around with this. This is a very aggressive trade right here, but this does look bullish if you ask me on the short term, that this is going to rebound nicely off of here. Jumping to the 4 hour, you're going to see it slightly starts to change, but there is still some sort of bull flag formation here, which looks good. And we jump to the daily, things change yet again here, where we're not really seeing much of that bull flag, but what we are seeing is a consolidation back down and a retest of pretty much the price floor, which is about 45 cents, as well as the moving average here. So we really don't look that bad if you ask me. There's a good chance, I believe, we're going to rebound off this and head to the upside. Others might disagree, but that's where my thought and theories at on this crypto here. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about Swiss Cheese Finance with you, though. I want to give a huge shout out to Swiss Cheese Finance for sponsoring today's episode. As with all projects and tokens, please do your own research and never invest anything you can't afford to lose. So guys, Swiss Cheese Finance is a decentralized exchange that aims to revolutionize the processes of the stock market and believes that the future of the stock market, much like the future of finance, will be driven by decentralization. Now, recently, Swiss Cheese Finance is in its third phase, the crowd sale round. In this phase, this will be the last chance to get their native token, SWCT, before it gets listed. Now, for those interested, the last day of this round closes on July 1st, so make sure to check them out immediately to secure your tokens. Moving on, the platform prides itself on being the first ever decentralized stock exchange and is built on the Polygon blockchain, making it completely decentralized and accessible to anyone from anywhere on the planet. This will eliminate the financial bias and bottlenecks caused by centralized organizations and democratizes the accessibility of finance to a global audience. In line with its goal of revolutionizing the stock market, Swiss Cheese Finance is developing a suite of financial products to make it easier for you to trade and access stocks and bonds. By signing up for a Swiss Cheese Finance account, you get access to trade all your favorite stocks, cryptos, bonds, and fiat currencies in an easy to understand environment. Even more, Swiss Cheese offers tokenized stocks, which are digital assets that track the price of publicly traded stocks. Tokenized stocks allow you to gain exposure to these stocks without ever leaving the crypto ecosystem or directly holding these assets, which is pretty cool. Now, Swiss Cheese also offers a crypto to tokenized stock swapping to easily transition from holding your favorite crypto assets to tokenized stocks and vice versa. This swapping process is completed on the blockchain network and allows for fast, secure, and efficient trading of assets. And by using crypto to tokenized stock swapping, you can gain exposure to traditional stock markets while using your cryptocurrency holdings. Now, lastly, Swiss Cheese has also created specifically curated mixed portfolios that are designed to generate high returns even during turbulent market conditions. Now, participating in the Swiss Cheese ICO is a simple process, but it's important to be well informed and prepared for what to do during and after the sale. So make sure to read their white paper first to understand the project and its goals. Then make sure to get Matic in your MetaMask wallet, and then you can purchase the token on the D app. After, your address will be registered along with the number of tokens you have purchased. Once the sale is officially over, your tokens will be automatically airdropped to your wallet on launch day. And the SWCT token is basically the backbone of Swiss Cheese ecosystem. As an ERC20 standard token, it is built on the Polygon blockchain, making it widely accessible and easy to use. It only has a total supply of 120 million SWCT and is designed to be a scarce and valuable asset, providing holders with a strong return on investment. At least that's the plan. Now, Swiss Cheese team says that they are committed to improving the platform and expanding its ecosystem as the first blockchain stock trading platform, signaling a bright future for the SWCT token holders. Now, with a strong focus on user friendliness, security, and decentralization, Swiss Cheese could have the potential to becoming a leading player in the decentralized exchange space. So, with all that being said, make sure to check out Swiss Cheese Finance and their crowd sale in the description below, and also make sure to check out their social media if you haven't already. Otherwise, shout out to Swiss Cheese Finance for sponsoring today's episode, and let's get back into the technical analysis. So, diving back into the technical analysis, as you guys can see, we are in an ascending fractal here, and we don't look too bad. We've been inside an ascending fractal on Ethereum's daily charts here. You can see, I just want to draw it really quick, that we've been kind of in this higher movement pattern here for the most part. And just recently did we manage to explode to the upside, hit a clear price ceiling, and corrected back down. Scary part was we broke back inside this ascending fractal, which is kind of hinting at potential correction lower here. Whether or not it hits support at 1770 and consolidates or falls even lower down a moving average here, I think that's really where we're headed. But we are, in my opinion, going lower. I think XRP has hit its low quicker than the other cryptos, but I think Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's kind of just begun, or if not, we're halfway done with it. I think we're easily going to be retesting 1766 as price floor, or retesting moving average right here. I think one of the two is almost guaranteed to happen before we see any sort of consolidation, and I think it's going to be with the S&P 500, like they are in a correlation in some way. And not only will the S&P, I believe, head lower, I think it's going to pull these other cryptos with it here, specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin. You can see here as well, the Bitcoin price hit its major resistance yet again and is causing another rejection here. You can see we're in an ascending fractal heading up and up and up. And then we broke, rejected off this, fell to the downside, and broke below our price ceiling here, or our price floor. And because we broke through this, I am more so thinking we're probably going to be retesting moving average quicker than you guys think here. We're trading at about 45 on the RSI, so there is room to head lower. But by the time we come down, I think the moving average will catch up, and we should be retesting closer to about $26,000 is really where my thought and theory is before we see a reversal back to the upside here. I really truly believe a retest in some area over here is necessary before we continue the movements to the upside. But I do believe we are on a bullish trajectory long term, but short term, I do believe we have to pull back down quicker before we head back up. So, keep that in mind here. Now, as you guys can see, we are in this higher low formation on the S&P, and this is why I strongly believe we are headed lower first. You can see we have a support, and you can see we're pretty much most likely going to be coming down, and I believe we're going to hit another support, head back up, and kind of continue this pattern here as I'm drawing with you. And this is going to create this higher low movement to the upside. Hopefully that makes sense. But you can see we are kind of starting off today correcting to the downside. We just opened, and I am a strong believer that this is going to be heading lower. I'm a strong believer we are headed lower. Whether or not the retest moving average or not is kind of up in the air, but that is where I think this is going to be moving to. And I think it is going to be pulling, the other cryptos with it. So when we start to head lower, which is by no means surprising that we started opening today at 932 in a bearish candle here, but I think it's going to be pulling these other cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum with it down to its moving average. I'd be shocked if XRP gets influenced with this and it pulls itself down lower too. But it's very possible that it could break bearish here and pull down to 40 cents. It's very possible, but I think I'm not really seeing that correlation with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP right now. So who knows what's going to happen, but I think S&P, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are headed lower before they head higher. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.